En junker ved juletid.
Ching chang ching nu til dig.
Omkring ham dannede sneen hvid.
Ching chang ching nu til dig.
So this morning we're going to go ahead and start with a talk of remasters. I reached out to our various things, mostly Twitter, a little bit in the chat. But we were talking about remasters. We got Chris White. He said that he would like a remaster of Metal Gear Solid, which I can appreciate because that is an amazing game. It was remastered and brought up I think it was called Twin Snakes, was pretty amazing. But yeah, I can see like a full on, because like what they did with Shadow of the Colossus was pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And
so what would you see?
He stole mine because mine was going to be Metal Gear Solid. So I'm going to go for a couple deep cuts and show my age.
Okay. As long as you don't take mine, because you know what mine is.
Guarantee I will not, because I know what yours is. Death Track that was on DOS. I want a remaster of that. Like, it would be and I don't think that many people would play it. It'd be kind of like Balloon Fight, on Nintendo. It's like, this is really cool for the history. Bard's Tale. Bard's Tale, along with, and because I'm going DOS games that like people aren't able to play now. So I'm going to throw in King's Quest on that, the old school King's Quest, and they should do it as a collection in my opinion.
I was going to say, I mean, if you're going to do King's Quest, you want all the King's Quest.
Yeah, there's some that aren't very good, but you want them all for posterity.
Yeah. So the one that you didn't pick is actually a DOS game, but I would pick Oregon Trail because that one's so hard to find now, and that was really fun.
You can play it on browser.
Phone, and my kids don't play it on. So I would like that one to be able to be brought up where the kids can play it.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then the one that he did know, and most of you out there, Demon Souls.
Yeah.
I want Demon Souls on PS4 because I want to play that. I want those servers to come back up, and yeah. And the main reason we're discussing this is because Shadow of the Colossus came out by Blue Point Games, and they are amazing. They did the initial. It wasn't a remaster, but they brought it up to the next generation and just kind of did a port of it.
Yeah.
And that was really spectacular. And so when they came out and they did the full on remaster, that was something pretty special.
Yeah.
So
I think that we're in an age now where we're getting a lot of these remasters. We're getting what we want for Christmas, even when it's not Christmas.
Yeah. I mean, we're getting Dark Souls in May.
Yeah.
I mean, how awesome is that?
Yeah, I get to play that. I get to play that like on the go, which means that people, when I'm getting my car worked on, can hear me curse obscenities in the waiting room.
Exactly.
Because that's what people want when they're already stressed out. The dentist office. I think that'd be like the worst place to play it, like in the waiting room for a dentist office.
Yeah.
But I'd probably do that. So there's some other games that I'd like to see remastered. Shadows of the Empire would be really cool.
Ooh, yeah, that would be interesting. I would want them to update the controls though. That one, and like we can go ahead and bring up some that did get remastered. The PC version of GoldenEye,
yeah,
is pretty amazing. Because if you brought that up, you'd have to rework the controls and everything. But yeah, they did really well on that.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be good with that. How about everyone talks about Rogue Squadron? I think Rogue Squadron's pretty good.
I only need the Hoth mission.
Yeah, that's why
the game was okay, but like that mission, was spectacular.
But see, and with Shadows of the Empire, you basically get that. So
yeah, what if you did a Shadows of the Empire and then you put in the Rogue Squadron Hoth mission? Could that work story-wise?
But it'll work story-wise, but the graphics will look jarring, and I mean,
no, I'm saying Blue Point Games doing it.
Yeah.
And so they would unify it because they rewrote Shadow of the Colossus like from the bottom up.
And I think that'd be fine. But I mean, the beginning of Shadow of the Colossus is basically the Hoth level of Rogue Squadron. So I'm saying
I remember a lot more running around under caves and encountering Yetis.
That's after you take down the AT-ATs.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I'm fine with it. And then all of a sudden the graphics jarringly change and then you switch over to something. That'd be fine.
I'm good with it.
I mean, people are picking up a remaster.
Yeah, Dark Forces is the other one. And I think that if you do Dark Forces as a remaster, Dark Forces and Dark Forces 2 bundled would be the best way to do that. After that, you're getting into Jedi Knight territory, which is not bad at all. But I would love.
But I feel like Jedi Knight was really good, but I feel like it was definitely it was outdone by Force Unleashed.
Yeah,
and it's the similarities are a little bit too close for my taste. And then there's also a lot of games that have already been remastered, or not remastered, but rebooted in a proper way. Like we got Tomb Raider and Doom and Wolfenstein within the past couple of years.
Yeah.
So so some of these, like Oregon Trail, I would be fine if they did like a new version, as long as Terry, like if they did the same, resource management and all those things, but then you just kind of update it and do the same game.
Yeah.
But when that happens, a lot of times people get pissed. So hard to say.
Yeah, and that's actually something that you and I were texting about earlier this week when for the new show, which I completely forgot the name of, the new show that Max and Brian and IGN are doing.
Weird Heat.
Yeah, so Weird Heat. One thing that Max brought up in there, by the way, it's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I recommend it.
Yeah, one of the things that Max brought up in there, he was talking about how when you read a book or you're thinking about an upcoming game, your brain fills in a lot of gaps that aren't actually there in regards to press conferences. For instance, Friday the 13th is going to get the Friday the 13th game is going to get a single player portion, which my brain filled in with, oh, that's a campaign.
Right.
And what they actually meant was, it's single-player challenges that just lets you play the exact same missions, the exact same characters, but you get challenges. And it was jarring for me because it's not what I was expecting. Yeah. So it's like basically you gave me a bot mode is what you did.
Yeah. Well, and the most egregious for me, and this is fully me, is when they said they were going to do Civil War. And I was like, yes, I love Civil War. That is my favorite story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is my favorite story ever written in comic books. And I've because of the way that I read, I have difficulty actually doing comic books, but I really appreciate the stories. And Civil War is the only one that I've read in multiple formats. And Civil War is amazing, and they said they were going to give me Civil War, and then shortly after that there's like, hey, here's a list of 10 things they can't actually do in Civil War.
Yep.
And I was like, oh,
you forgot about the licensing.
Oh, no.
And Civil War would
not even licensing, like stuff like Thor. Yeah. Like they couldn't do that. And I really wanted to hear Whatever a Spider Can. Yeah. Like that was one of my favorite moments, and we didn't get it.
I think that that is the reason, and I will argue this with people, except for the milking scene. That's the reason people did not like The Last Jedi, is because we, in our minds, we haven't seen Luke Skywalker since Return of the Jedi. So we've filled in the gaps, and the extended universe now, the legacy. Legends area has filled in the gaps of what we think Luke Skywalker is going to do and what he could be, and what we got was not that. And I think that...
Well, and heck, what he had done, because those of us who were attached to the extended universe, like we already knew a lot of the stories, like...
Yeah, and they basically said those don't exist anymore, unless we say they exist.
Yeah.
Which sucks. But that's...
Sorry, I reached the wrong way.
Yeah, it's bothersome because we have... I would contend if these movies came out, maybe... Okay, not in today's internet age, but if they had actually come out in the 80s and it was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and I know the technology would be different and everything, but the same story premise where Han Solo and Leia's son does his things. I'm not going to spoil it, but Luke does his thing. I think if it had come off right after that and we hadn't had the internet community and culture of nitpicking and finding all these details before the movie even comes out, I think that it wouldn't have been as jarring.
Well, you've also got Chekhov's gun, and that's a thing that because Last Jedi didn't fulfill a lot of the things that were set up in episode 7.
Correct.
So
and they did that.
We had several years to mull over these things and try to figure out, okay, if this is Act 1 of a trilogy, what happens in Act 2?
Correct.
And we were looking for clues.
Correct.
And a lot of times, like Martin tends to, George R. R. Martin, he says that he tries to avoid internet groups because he says sometimes the ideas that they come up with are actually better than what I had written. Yeah. And the culture of theorizing.
No, so, I agree, and I think that I would agree with that, but I think that I think theorizing is a problem, and I was going to say something else, and I lost my train of thought.
Well, considering that this is a topic on remasters, I think we've thoroughly lost the train of thought. We've taken the train out to the meadow, and it's now meandering in the fields.
We can't segue back into remastering the prequels and rebooting them?
We could do that.
Because
I would enjoy... Okay, there's one. Battlefront 1 and 2, the first ones.
Yeah.
I would play those again, because those were magnificent.
No, they were. They were...
Yeah, we segued back. Quick, get us out of here. Get us out of here.
So let us know if there are other games you'd like to have remastered. Let us know those in the comments, and we'll tell you if we think that you're right. See you later.
Thanks for watching This Week in Our Collective Heads. Subscribe over here and click the bell, and that way you'll know about any new videos that we put up, because we put up a lot of gameplay, a lot of stories from games and stuff like that, and gameplay is down here.
Yeah, and you got more editorials and news stuff down here. Check it out.